What's up, YouTube? It is Heretic here. Welcome back. It has been a long time since I've had some new material for you guys. It's been at least a week. Not intentionally taking another week off like I did last time. We have just been swamped getting ready to move here in another month. We'll still be in the Columbus area, but gotta pack our stuff up, get ready. So a bunch of stuff has obviously been packed, and we're still working on that. Just work schedules, all that other stuff. Of course, being a father, priorities. So I'm gonna try to get some material for you guys when I get the chance, but try to still stick to 2 to 3 videos a week. I apologize if it takes a little longer than normal, or if the uploading schedule is a little erratic as opposed to the usual Monday, Wednesday, Friday. In any case, today we are looking at Espeon GX, Vaporeon GX's seemingly unnoticed brother. So Espeon has some cool tricks. Psybeam for 1 Psychic does 30 damage, which is pretty cool. Auto Confusion as well. Psychic for 1 Psychic and 2 Colorless does 60 damage plus 30 more damage for every energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's awesome. Can do a ton of damage if they have 2, 3 plus energies on there. And then Divide GX, one of my favorite GX attacks right now in the game, for also a Psychic and 2 Colorless, allows you to place 10 damage counters across your opponent's board however you like. This is an attack that I think is better suited for Expanded as opposed to Standard for a couple reasons. And so we're going to go over those, and this is why I chose to make this deck an Expanded format as opposed to Standard. The first reason is that it has access to Dimension Valley, meaning you just need 2 Psychic energies or whatever, or a Psychic and whatever else, rather than relying on a double Colorless for both Divide and Psychic. Second of all, Expanded format has a lot more smaller basic Pokemon than Standard does as a result. Night March immediately comes to mind, anything with Vespiquen in it. Vileplume decks running on Oddish. A lot of stuff where you could divide and take 2 knockouts at the same time. Phantomp is another one. Hit a couple of 50 HP Phantoms, knock them out. So a lot of things you can do. You could also just snipe a Jirachi EX with Divide. Drop 9 of the 10 damage counters there, get a free 2 prizes. Eels, Bronzong, all kinds of stuff that you don't see in Standard. So that is Espeon GX, 200 HP to boot, pretty awesome. So we got 3 Espeon GX and 4 of our Energy Evolution EVs. And then we have 1 Flareon, 1 Vaporeon, 1 Jolteon, just like we had in the Umbreon deck. So rounding this out and working with our Dimension Valley theme, we have 2 Mewtwo-EX for 2 Psychic. You can hit Side Drive for the 120. And then, of course, X-Ball is just X-Ball. 20 times the number of damage, or times the number of energy attached to both active Pokemon. Always good. Was broken when it came out. Still good today. 2 Wobbuffet to help clean up. Again, this is something that can attack for 1 energy. With Dimension Valley in play, can attack for 1 Psychic, dealing 10 plus 10 more for each damage counter already on your opponent's active Pokemon. This is extremely, this has an extremely solid combo with Divide, as you can drop a whole bunch of damage and then just clean it all up with Wobbuffet while locking your opponent out of all of their abilities outside of Psychic type Pokemon. Can also be a thorn in the side as a starter for an opponent to have to deal with against some of our rougher matchups. So we have all that stuff, and then 1 Keldeo, just Rush Retreat. May not need that. It's probably cuttable for some consistency. So that's our Pokemon lineup. Got Computer Search as our ace spec of choice, just to find whatever we need. 1 Escape Rope, just, extra switching card, can help us work around Glaceon if that were to become a problem. 1 Level Ball to help search for Eevee and the non-GX evolutions. 1 Super Rod to put stuff back, and then 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker, standard stuff. 4 Dimension Valley, the deck basically depends pretty heavily on D-Valley since we're not running double colorless, so running pretty heavy on those. Supporters, 4 Sycamore, 2 Ed, and 2 Lysander. We're going to get into our 1-ofs. We've got 5 of them. Hex Maniac, just another great first turn play. Colress, more draw power. AZ, another standard. We actually have 6 1-of supporters, my bad. Zero Sick, just a really good way to disarm Garbodor if we need to, or to get rid of a double colorless or any special energy. All around, just really good card. Delinquent Having that 1-of per deck, being able to drop our opponent's hand from 3 all the way down to 0 is really good. And then Professor Kukui. I think this card is so much better than Giovanni's Scheme after testing it. Like, I already thought it was a little better. Now I think it's light years better. Being able to draw the 2 cards, even if it doesn't seem like a lot, in addition to doing the extra 20, is just so good. So that's a card that's finding its way into more of my decks than just the ones that were running Giovanni before, and with good reason. Next we have our tool cards. We have 2 Float Stones. I would run 3, but because we have Mystery Energies as well as Keldeo, 2 seems to suffice. Also 2 Muscle Band to buff up damage from Espeon. Combine Muscle Band and Kukui, you can get plus 40. That's pretty solid. And then we have 2 Mystery Energy. They help us out getting free retreat on Mewtwo, Wobbuffet, and Espeon. I didn't want to go more than 2, though, because we do want the bulk of our energy to be basic Psychic so that we can use Energy Evolution to evolve from Eevee to Espeon on turn 1. And one of them is this blingy little thing that I pulled out of one of my virtual packs. So we got that, and then there's 7 regular ones. So there's 8 total basic Psychic. That is my Espeon GX Psychic list. So we are going to go ahead and take this into a couple of games and see if we can't make it work. Here we go. Okay, so we are up against the dreaded Dark deck. This is a good stress test. Should be. So Dark has resistance to Psychic, of course, so we are going to have to be aware of that. If it is Yveltal, we can try to get Jolteon into play and take advantage. And this is actually pretty solid. We could start with the Wobbuffet even. They have the Hex Maniac. We're fine. Try to make fun things happen. And he's got a mulligan, so we see Laser Bank. Not much else. We know it's Dark. We know he runs Laser Bank. That's about it for now. And if it is Yveltal, Espeon should be able to trade pretty well with it. Doing as much damage as Espeon is able to do would be larger, or would actually be greater than Yveltal, and I wouldn't have to stack my Pokemon too heavily. So we will go ahead and put the Wob down. And we do see 2 Yveltals. Okay, so that's good. So we will Ultra Ball here, and we'll throw out the N and the Super Rod, I think. And we do find, let's see, there's a couple of Espeons there. We'll go ahead and grab another Eevee, since we're going to want one for Jolteon. And we will Energy Evolve here. So we'll get Espeon EX GX into play on the first turn, and then we're going to go ahead and follow that up with a Hex Maniac. So we have a pretty solid start, barring a Delinquent from our opponent. If he drops a Stadium and then Delinquents it out of play, obviously that would just really, really suck. So he T-mails for a Dark Patch here. We're going to see a Fighting Fury Belt go on to the active Yveltal EX. Here's a Skyla supporter for turn. And let's see where this ends up going. Alright, so he goes for a Juniper. Now he's got no energy on that Yveltal, so we could only hit it for 120. We do get the second energy, so we will throw that down. And because of the situation, I'm just going to go ahead and evolve the second Espeon. And we will do an empty-handed Sycamore there. So we find Dimension Valley. And, I mean, I guess we could Shaman, but it'd be kind of pointless. So we're just going to go ahead and start laying the damage down. We could do an early Divide, but I'm thinking that now's probably not the time for that. So we'll give it a wait and see what happens. We are going to get poisoned here with Hypnotoxic. No sleep though, so that's important. There's Juniper, discards Darkrai, Dark Patch, Lysander. What do you got? All right, so there's the old Darkrai. That's the one that's going to grant him free retreat. And we see another Yveltal. So an energy is going to go onto the benched Yveltal, and then we're going to take 10 damage from poison. So let's see here. We've got Xerosic, we've got Kukui, we've got Lysander, we've got all kinds of options here. And let's see, we could also Escape Rope. So I think, what do you do here? I guess you try to draw some cards. Really don't have a whole lot going on here. Start getting the second Espeon charged up. And save hitting for now. That's fine. We're just gonna go ahead and keep hitting this thing. Don't exactly have a perfect hand here, but we will be able to VS Seeker next turn for either an N or a Sycamore, which will make our hand better than what it is right now. There's a CompuSearch. That sounds amazing. Get rid of a couple of these supporters that are clunking up my hand right now. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's get an Eevee out, put that into play, and let's see. Could get rid of the poison, I guess. Just go ahead and Shaman. Okay. That's not doing a whole lot. So we're going to go ahead and just, let's see. We're doing 60 damage. It's not quite enough. I guess we can, we get Verse Seeker for the 0-sick. That's not, it's not too ideal. We're going to we'll go ahead and divide here and we'll play 7. Don't really want to use that Verse Seeker right now. And we'll start hitting the second Yveltal. Alright, so we get the GX attack. We'll grab a couple of prize cards. There we go, another Verse Seeker, a Muscle Band. That's good. Good stuff. Will get us ready to attack that that second Yveltal if we were to whiff the Jolteon, which, of course, if we don't whiff it, then we're just in golden business. So we see another Hypnotoxic. That's cool. And right now he's doing 100 damage with Evil Ball. So we'd be looking at 110. We got 160. So he needs to fit 50 more. There's 10 of it. A double colorless would definitely help. He puts an Eevee into play. And we see a Battle Compressor here. We'll see if a double colorless energy comes down. That would give him 140, 150 damage, and then we get 10 from Poison to knock us out. We do see an Ultra Ball with a Verse Seeker and a Skyla there. So he grabs a Shaman. That is 2 Skylas, okay. So he's going to get 5 cards off of this Shaman. And that's going to look pretty decent. There is the Burbank City Gym. Now he just needs the Darkness Energy. And so he gets a Dark Patch. We get an energy on the Darkrai, but that's not on the Yveltal. He needs... Okay, we got a Master Ball. He needs an energy on the active Pokemon. He Master Ball's out for Umbreon. The fact that there's no computer search here pains me a little bit. It always stings a little to see someone play a bad A-spec. But I understand some people just don't have them, the better ones. So we take almost enough to knock us out. And we do draw an Ultra Ball, so we can throw away Flareon and the Lysander. And we're going to go get Jolteon. And we can actually just stick with this Espeon here. We can Escape Rope here, and then we'll just be able to Verse Seeker Lysander, bring this thing right back out. And we can just retreat right back into the same Espeon and use it to get a knockout. So we will do that. I can throw a Muscle Band on this one over here. Put my Stadium back in play. And Lysander. Bring that sucker back out here. I got a Lysander again next turn for the Shaman, which would win us the game. So we'll take 2 more prize cards. Find another VS Seeker. Dang, we had a couple of those prized. Alright. So now our board looks pretty good. I mean, sans, I guess, having another Psychic Energy on this Espeon. Everything else is pretty much right where it needs to be. We do see he evolves Umbreon GX. Gets a double colorless, but he does not play down into an N. So we see a failed Max Elixir. Try again. Looks like he's got this one because he's taking a little longer. So that's going to go on Darkrai, which is going to be able to Night Spear here. But he doesn't actually get an attack, so we're just going to Lysander up the Shaman and knock him out. Couldn't have made it much easier. I mean, an Oblivion Wing would have KO'd us. But that is not the case, so we will take the knockout, and Espeon claims a W over Yveltal, Darkrai, Umbreon. Whatever, it looked like he had a little bit of all of it. But definitely closer to Turbo Dark, it looks like, than to standard Yveltal. So Espeon overcomes Darkness, overcomes Umbreon and Yveltal and all those goodies. So we're going to go ahead and do another game. Okay, we see a pure Psychic deck this time. Okay. Let's go. Oh, that sucks. Alright, I guess we're going second. Oh, nasty. Bad hand, bad starting basic. Oh, this is gross. This is really bad. And yep, there's the Phantom. Alright, see, this is one of these matchups where we would have wanted Divide, but we notice he doesn't get the he doesn't get it into play. So we are going to try to capitalize here. We're going to throw the that thing away. We're going to throw the Zero Sick. I'm going to go find an Eevee. Floatstone. And we're going to attach our spicy secret rare energy here to get an Espeon. And we'll follow that up with a Psybeam. And Professor... Oh my god. Oh yeah, we Kukui-ed. Oh, holy shit. We just donked him. Oh my god. I didn't even see that. I was like, wait a minute. It did 50. Wait, what? No muscle. Oh, wait. It's like, wait, we Kukui-ed. Holy shit. Okay. Alright, well, that wasn't much of a game, but we donked him, so, yeah, Power of Energy Evo, folks. Game 3. Okay, so this time we see Psychic, Dark, Colorless, Darkness type coin. Looks like another Dark deck, which is cool. I mean, those are pretty standard expanded, or pretty basic expanded format decks, and standard expanded, whatever. You know what I mean. So we're going to start with a mulligan, as is he. We see an Aqua Base, some hammers, interesting stuff. And we'll say hello back. Alright, so we get a couple of Eevees this time. That's cool to see. We got the magical Kukui again. Alright, it looks like he's still got no basics. So we are going to, let's see, we're going second, so we're going to put both Eevees on the board. And what do we got? A Trick Shovel. Oh, is this Sableye? Yeah, this is Sableye Garbodor. I hate Sableye. Can we maybe divide here? Can that be a thing? Can we divide? That'd be pretty epic. Alright. I guess we'll at least have a big hand until he plays an N. So there's the Trubbish. And he puts an energy on there right away. Alright. Not really sure. If he doesn't have another Pokemon, we might have another Donk on our hands. This thing does only have 60 HP. Okay, never mind. One can certainly dream. So, Puzzle of Time and AZ are going to go to the discard. Sableye is going to come out. That's a no-brainer. And there's an N, yep. So that gigantic hand we had is going to go away. Maybe we'll find an energy. Well, not the right one, so nope. We'll see if he actually retreats. I don't think Garbodor is too big of a thing here. My guess is... Actually, I don't know. Does he retreat here? I really don't know, to be completely honest. Alright, so we do see a Shaman here, so he's going to get a couple extra cards. Maybe an incentive for us to put Jolteon down. Grabs a Crushing Hammer off of that. Trainer's Mail. Another Trainer's Mail here. Grabs an Ultra Ball this time, so I assume we'll see that. And so there's the Ultra Ball. He discards another Ultra Ball and a Zero Sick this time. Grabs another Sableye. So 2 Sableyes on the board. And he does retreat into one of them. Okay. Do we want to make... You know what? I'm thinking I'm going to make... This is going to be this is kind of a dangerous play. But we're going to try it. See if we can't make this happen. Where is it? There we go. That's what I was looking for. And we will delinquent his hand out. We're going to try to catch him Stonewall in here. It might be one of our better ways to try to fight this deck. Because there's some things you can't... some things you can't do. So we're going to try to catch him Stonewall in here. Hopefully that works out. So he draws, he puts another Sableye down, that's fine. So we will put Umbreon down, give it an energy, or sorry, not Umbreon, Espeon. I was playing Umbreon earlier today, so that's probably why. Get another Eevee, and get a Muscle Band on there as well. So we get Psybeam here for 50 damage and Confusion. And if we get Divide, if we can get Divide next turn, we can take 2 Sableyes out just like that. So we will... We don't exactly have that right now. We'll go ahead and Energy Evolve that instead. And I guess we're just going to go ahead and stick with the Psybeam. Alright. So we do find Jolteon in the prizes. That's key because it'll enable us to knock out Shaman. Oh my god, the text messages are crazy. I guess when you record on Valentine's Day, you should probably be ready for, yeah. Alright, so it does look like he was able to get Junk Hunt here, so try to see what could happen here. We're going to see a Verse Seeker and a Crushing Hammer, yep. So, let's see, we can knock him out. What kind of supporters does he have down here? AZ and Zero Sick, okay. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to put Jolteon into play. We're going to put a Float Stone there, and we're just going to go ahead and let's see, we would Psybeam. So we'll just make sure we're doing enough damage to kill him. And that is actually all we need. Muscle Band, Kukui, damage, knockout. Cool beans. So we pick up a couple of prize cards just like that, and I think we're going to stop putting Pokemon down at this point. We got an Espeon with a Float Stone, we got an Espeon with a Mystery Energy, so, and then we got a free retreating Jolteon. So we got plenty of options. We do know he plays Aqua Base. We do have 4 stadiums to kind of work with that. And we do see he is going to scrap away both of our Pokemon tools here. That sucks. Maybe he'll whiff an energy. Doubtful, but one can certainly dream. So there's a Trick Shovel. It's going to work on controlling our draws here. He mills off one of our stadiums. That sucks. Rip. Okay. So See if he uses garbage collection here, or if he manages to get a junk hunt going here. We see Ultra Ball. He discards a T-Mail and a Float Stone. Grabs another Shaman, so it'll be another at least 5 cards. Yep. And there are 2 Shamans on the board now ready to be picked off. We just need to be able to have there not be a Garbodor. Okay, so he T-Mails into an N here. Still kind of waiting on what's going to happen. There's another Trubbish. And, okay, so he switches Trubbishes here. So no Junk Hunt. That's cool. I'm down with that. And Parallel City is going to knock those 2 Shamans off his bench. Okay. Can't really say that that's too surprising. So that's going to be a thing. We find Keldeo, which we're just not going to play. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just sick of more of this stuff. Alright, well, we didn't find what we were looking for. That sucks. Yeah, I'll just knock this thing out. That's cool. Start ending ourselves into fewer cards. And as long as we can keep a stream of Lysanders and VS Seekers and stuff going, we should be okay. There are no Lysanders and no VS Seekers in the discard, 1 of each in hand. As long as we can do that and manage to take OHKOs, we should be fine. We do need to find either a Dimension Valley or another energy, though, eventually. Can also use Zero Sick if he gets the Life Dew going to start knocking out Sableye. We see an Aqua Base comes into play. So now we're going to be paying 1 energy to retreat this guy, and 1 to retreat this one, and I guess 3 to retreat that one. And there is a Verse Seeker. We are going to see another N, so he's going to drop us all the way down to 3 cards here. And as long as we can take knockouts, it's not really a big deal. We just have to be able to take KOs. Silence the ringer there so you guys don't have to hear that. Sorry about that. So we are going to see Junk Hunt here. He grabs a hammer and a grabs a crushing hammer and a thingamabob. I'm losing my train of thought here. Versus Seeker. So let's see. Don't really want to leave him with that, but I would like to take these knockouts when we have the chance. So we're going to go ahead and put that there, and I am going to try to end him out of those cards. Alright, so we find Lysander here, which is good. And we can use Psychic here to pick up a KO. So we find a D-Valley, that's worth noting. Alright, so there's a Crushing Hammer. He manages... Okay, flips Tails there. We do see another Sableye has a Dark Energy on it. And he's going to Lysander here, so he's going to drag up the Jolteon, which of course does have a retreat cost, at least right now it does. It won't in a second when we play this D-Valley down. And I don't believe he has 2 puzzles in here. He's only got 1. If he has 1 in hand, he'll be able to make that play, and we'll know by him grabbing it. Alright, so instead he grabs a Trick Shovel and a Versus Seeker again. So, let's see. We have Delinquent, which isn't really helping us. Go ahead and knock the Stadium. And not really a whole lot else to do with that, to be honest. We can at least retreat here. And we're going to go ahead and just Psychic again for another knockout. That'll get us down to 1 prize card. We find an Escape Rope. And if we can just drag up the Trubbish there, Psybeam would be enough to kill it. We do see he's got another energy on the Sableye. I'm going to expect another N here. He's going to Trick Shovel us first, discarding an energy. And he's got that Versus Seeker, so we can N us down to 1. Alrighty. So now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. We draw a dead Hex Maniac. That doesn't help. And he forfeits the game, so he doesn't have the energy, or he doesn't have the life dew there, or the way to get energy off of us. So the one Espeon is actually going to go the distance against Sableye, and I think that Delinquent really is what did it. We were able to pick up some prizes there early on. So Delinquent comes up real big for us there, making that play. And we overcome Sableye Garbodor, so that is 3 games with Espeon GX and friends. So that's a fun deck to play. You can play it in Standard, you just have to run double colorless energies. I like it in Expanded personally because there's a lot more smaller basics or stuff like Night March. You have Phantoms in the Trevenant matchup, which we saw. You have Sableyes. You know, you have a lot of smaller basics that you can take advantage of with the Divide GX attack. But Espeon, you know, everyone's all about Umbreon right now, and rightfully so. Umbreon GX, along with Decidueye and you know, Umbreon, Decidueye, Tauros, Lurantis, really the 4 big ones. But Espeon GX is nonetheless a very good card in my opinion, and that's what we did today. So I will see you guys next time. Cheers.